Let's jump right in, shall we? Picture a fog-drenched, deeply atmospheric kingdom called Maravan. Today we're doing an explainer on a truly, beautifully tragic, dark fantasy romance. We're exploring the legend of a forbidden body of water, a place where literally nobody, not the bravest soldiers, not the most skilled hunters, dares to step foot after the sun goes down. So get comfortable, because we're unpacking the chilling mystery of the Black Lake and the cursed entity that haunts its freezing waters.
The source material doesn't waste any time establishing the stakes. Listen to this opening. On the night of the blood moon, the entire royal palace heard a woman crying from the lake. By morning, the prince had vanished. Just let that hang there for a second. The juxtaposition of this sorrowful, crying woman and the sudden, terrifying disappearance of a royal prince, it perfectly sets the tone. It tells us right away that we aren't dealing with a story of random violence. This is a story of sorrow, of mystery, and this irresistible draw that just leads straight to doom.
And honestly, this right here illustrates the most unsettling detail of all the local rumors. When people vanished during the full moon, they didn't just disappear into thin air forever. Their bodies would eventually be found near the lake. But, and this is the crazy part, they didn't die screaming. They were found with expressions of love on their faces. Not horror, not panic. Pure, unadulterated love. This flips the whole traditional horror trope completely on its head, right? The danger here isn't some monster that rips you apart. It's something that makes you willingly surrender.
Which naturally brings us to the central question we're unraveling in this explainer: who is the Lake Queen? The villagers whisper about this woman with silver eyes who sings at midnight. Some say she's a ghost, others swear she's a cursed goddess. But whatever she is, she's the absolute gravitational pull of this entire narrative. So who is this spectral woman stealing the souls of men who fall in love with her? And why is she bound to the black waters of this lake?
Okay, Section 1, Legend of the Black Lake.
Let's really set the scene here. We've got an ominous fog-covered landscape, a mirror-like surface of black water reflecting the moon, and a surrounding forest that's described as being so silent, even the wind sounds afraid. And there's a really stark contrast in perspectives going on. On one side, you have the kingdom's absolute paralyzing dread. I mean, the royal guards literally beg not to go near the place. But on the flip side, we have Prince Aryan. He views the whole thing as a childhood myth. He is skeptical, defiant, completely dismissive. Well, that is until a stormy night at the palace. The text notes how rain is thundering against the windows, lightning flashes, and for just a split second, Aryan sees her, a woman in white, standing on top of the water, watching him. From that exact moment, his skepticism totally vanishes, replaced by a very dangerous curiosity.
Which leads us into Section 2, The Prince and the Queen.
That intense curiosity brings us right to the water's edge. Against the advice of literally everyone, Aryan sneaks out of the palace at midnight to investigate, and when the cold fog parts, he finally comes face to face with the legend. The source describes her as unreal. Pale skin glowing under the moon, a white dress flowing like smoke, and most terrifyingly, those ancient, bright silver eyes that are just filled with this profound sadness. Aryan's brave, stepping closer, ready to draw his sword, but she moves with supernatural speed. She vanishes, reappears right behind him, touches his cheek with freezing fingers, and whispers this deeply threatening warning: "If I pull you into this lake, your soul will never return." It is an incredibly tense, dangerous moment, but the dynamic instantly shifts when Aryan realizes something completely unexpected. She's crying. The monster threatening to steal his soul is weeping, warning him that no prince should look into her eyes for too long.
But before they can connect any further, the environment itself turns hostile. Dozens of dead, freezing hands suddenly erupt out of the black mud to drag the prince under the water. The lake itself is attacking him. The pacing in the source material gets incredibly fast right here. Aryan is pulled down, he's fighting desperately, and just as he's about to be claimed by these dark spirits, the queen screams. She literally explodes into a blinding silver light, instantly banishing the dead hands and saving Aryan's life. When he gasps for air and asks what she is, she just replies, "A curse," and vanishes back into the fog.
So understandably, this terrifying encounter leaves the prince utterly obsessed. He can't sleep, he can't stop thinking about her silver eyes and those tears. The next morning, he seeks out an old blind priest in the royal library to finally uncover the truth. Section 3, a 500-year curse. The priest reveals a genuinely heartbreaking timeline. Let's rewind 500 years. There was a beautiful princess named Mihair. But she fell in love with a poor soldier, completely infuriating her father, King Rudabrakram. In this incredibly cruel display of power, the king ordered the soldier to be drowned alive in the Black Lake. Mihair, in a desperate act of love, jumped in to save him.
Sadly, the soldier died, but the lake, which was already teeming with these ancient spirits, chose Meher instead.
And when she emerged, she wasn't human anymore. The curse transformed Princess Maher into a spirit bound forever to the lake, but here is the truly agonizing mechanic of this curse. She's essentially become a queen of the dead, forced to steal the souls of any men who fall in love with her. It's a tragic, twisted duality. The very emotion that drove her to sacrifice her life, love, is now weaponized. Love literally triggers death. And despite the blind priest's strict warning to never, ever return, Aryan knows he has to go back to her.
Moving to Section 4, the King's Deadly Intervention. This pulls us right back into the present day. Aryan starts visiting Meher night after night, and beneath the moonlight, these two lonely hearts actually start to connect. He learns her name. He sees the hidden ruins beneath the water, the glowing silver fish, the midnight flowers. He starts to see the humanity still trapped inside her immortality. And you guessed it, he begins falling deeply in love, completely ignoring her warnings that the lake spirits are listening to his heartbeat. Then they make the ultimate mistake. They physically touch. For the first time in 5 centuries, Meher willingly holds his hand. Instantly, the curse awakens. The water turns pitch black. Voices of the dead start screaming from below, "Love brings death." Black veins violently spread across Meher's pale skin. She is in total agony. You see, the curse activates the exact moment she feels love, and the spirits prepare to kill Aryan. But the lake spirits aren't the only ones watching.
Aryan's father, King Varandev, has discovered his son's secret midnight visits. Terrified that the curse is going to consume the royal bloodline, he ambushes them at the lakeside with his royal soldiers. Just as Aryan finally confesses, "I love you," to Meher, the king steps out of the forest holding a sacred spear, and he declares a brutal sentence. A demon cannot live. He views this tragic queen as nothing more than a monstrous threat, totally blind to the fact that she has literally been trying to protect his son this whole time.
And that brings us to Section 5, the final sacrifice.
The king's harsh words, stating that spirits cannot love, shatter something profound inside Meher. And this triggers our cinematic climax. The lake starts shaking violently. Dark clouds eclipse the moon. The true spirit of the lake awakens from the depths, this enormous, ancient shadow made of pure darkness and drowned souls, roaring that the curse must be completed. The monster attacks, shooting these terrifying black tendrils aimed directly at Aryan. But Meher screams and violently shoves the prince out of the way. She takes the fatal blow herself. Silver blood explodes across the lake as the lake claims its queen, physically shielding the man she loves from the monster's wrath.
Collapsing into Aryan's arms, her body slowly starting to turn into water, Meher reveals the only way left to save him. If the cursed queen willingly gives up her immortality, the lake loses its power. But it means she will finally, permanently die. The lake monster's screaming, the dark waves are crashing around them, and she whispers this incredibly heavy, emotional line to the weeping prince. "Let me become human one last time." What follows is just a beautifully tragic visual. She kisses him, and the very moment she does, the curse shatters. The entire lake explodes into brilliant silver light, the giant monster dissolves into ash, and for the first time in 500 years, the black water becomes crystal clear. Meher's silver eyes slowly turn human again. She feels her own heartbeat one last time, thanks Aryan for finally giving her peace, and then her body dissolves into glowing white petals that just float gently across the peaceful water. The lake is finally safe again. The source even notes that children eventually play by its shores. But it leaves us with this haunting final question. Is a fleeting moment of peace worth the ultimate price of love? For Meher, the answer was clearly yes. And for Prince Aryan, it seems his devotion is completely unbroken. The text leaves us with this powerful image of him months later, standing alone by the water every single full moon, keeping an eternal, hopeful midnight vigil, just waiting on the off chance that a woman's soft laughter might ever echo across the silver ripples once again. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this incredible story. I hope it leaves you thinking about the truly enduring power of myth, memory, and sacrifice.